And we are back, and joining me now is Warren Whitlock. He's author of Twitter Revolution. Great to have you here today, Warren.
Thanks for having me, Greg. Good to be here.
So, you know, it's interesting how things have changed, because when I was reading the book, you were first trying to give kind of the hard sell for Twitter, telling people why they should use Twitter. And of course now, I mean, almost everybody's on Twitter, aren't they, it seems? Or...
I say if you don't want to be on Twitter, don't bother. It's okay. It's a matter of connecting with people.
Oh.
And, you know, we have so many good tools now just to connect with each other. Twitter's one of them. And if it works for you, do it. But
you don't think it's for everybody?
It's not for somebody that doesn't want to be, doesn't want to have a connection.
Every move of their life.
Yeah, you know, it's just like saying, you know, a lot of people just don't talk on the phone very much. Some people don't send letters. Some people don't attend parties. You know.
I mean, some people don't tweet.
Yeah. There's a few. Actually, the biggest current thing going on is that there's a lot of people that have started an account and then aren't using them very much.
I've heard a few people tell me that like they're over Twitter or they're off Twitter, so they tweeted for a while and then they stopped. They're no longer tweeting.
Yeah, I say there's 3 stages of Twitter acceptance. Number 1 is you look at it and say, what do I care what other people are having for breakfast? And then stage 2 is, I got to figure out how I can make this thing work and make some money, get people to do something. And then stage 3 is you start having conversations. Once you start having conversations, it's just like anything else. You and I are talking. I didn't decide that I'm going to have a conversation with you. We're just talking. You know, well, I did drive here to be interviewed today, but, you know, outside of that, but, you know, in fact, a lot of the interviews I do is just 2 people talking on the telephone. We do radio interviews. It's that simple.
Sure.
So people are just being people, connecting wherever they can, and turns out that a lot of other people are interested in that.
Yeah, and when I first heard about Twitter, I actually said what I remember when I first heard about email back in college. I was like, oh, a friend of mine was using email, and I said, oh, you know, she said, this great way to keep in touch with my professors. And I said, well, can't you just stop by their office?
Absolutely.
Now I laugh. Now I'm checking my email 400 times a day, and, you know, morning, noon, and night. And,
absolutely.
But the same thing with Twitter. When somebody first told me about Twitter, I was like, it's like 140 characters, and you tell people what you're doing. I'm like, well, I don't get it. I said, I don't. Now I'm tweeting regularly.
Yeah, so. the basis of Twitter is SMS messages, 160 characters. The name uses up the rest. They leave 20 for the name and then 140 on Twitter. But that's where it's based on. I heard about that 20 years ago.
Really?
And when I saw that was coming, I'm going, who's going to want to send text over their telephone? And now, of course, today, I think 2008 was 3 trillion messages on SMS, and it's just going up and up.
I also went through that phase, though, where I'd send the annoying text like, at the movies. You know.
Yeah.
But that's not the best way to use Twitter?
Actually, it's turned things around. This is why we called it the revolution, is that instead of being another broadcast medium to send a message out or to be narcissistic and just tell everybody what you're up to, what it really has become is a great way to listen. It's the best marketing research tool ever, because no matter what it is you're selling, no matter what it is you're an interest in, the market is out there talking about it right now. And you can just listen.
And it's interesting, a lot of big companies monitor what people are saying about them.
Sure.
And I know because I've said some things about some big companies and I've heard about them. Well, but I definitely believe in using it for customer service issues.
Well, it's one of the things you just said there is you got to be careful what you're putting up there. It is a digital tattoo. It's going to be there forever, whatever you say. On the other hand, it is very, very current. And you know, a man on a JetBlue flight didn't get his meal, and they have internet connection, so he tweeted, they missed me for the meal. 30 seconds later, somebody shows up with the meal.
Wow.
Okay. That's not a customer service department went and did anything. That's just people doing their job. He didn't need a free trip. He didn't need special recognition. It's a great story because it happened, but I think that the company of the future, that's not going to be a big deal. You want something to happen, you ask for it, it happens.
I actually did it too when I got stuck in the elevator the other day, because I thought, you know, I'd heard about the guy on YouTube that he was stuck in the elevator 41 hours, and I thought, I'm not going to be that guy. Even though I'd already spoken to the elevator company and various other people, and I knew help was on the way, but I put it on Twitter because I thought, I'm not going to be stuck in here for 3 days. And I was out very soon, but
yeah.
You know, I just...
But it's there, and there's so many. I just heard an example of another airline where somebody was stranded all afternoon, and one gate agent doing a heroic job, but everybody was just mad, cussing at the, and this guy trying, he's a big fan of the airline, but in the end he pulled out his camera and made a video. He was hoping to get their attention.
I guess he did.
And in the future, I think the companies that do best are going to be the ones that pay attention. So that's my marketing mantra for the future.
Well, I guess
listen and love.
Listen and love. Wow, you sound like the 60s, free love. Were you in the free love?
Well, you know, you just find out what people want and you get it for them. It's as simple as that. It's not something big and complicated, but isn't that what we all want? You call a customer service department, they say that's not my department. Or they put you on hold. Exactly. You don't like that.
Right.
You want somebody that'll listen, even if the policy won't allow them to fix it, even if it's broke beyond repair, even if your internet service is going to be down for the next 6 weeks, whatever the answer is, at least a human being listened to you.
Yeah, that's why I actually gave the company credit for being proactive and contacting me when I posted a comment. And,
sure, good for them.
Yeah, I know, because until then, you really think, does anybody care or know or about their job or whether but they actually did. So.
Sure.
I don't know that it's gotten necessarily better, but I guess. But at least they cared. But they tell me you have 60,000 followers, and so I think the thing everybody wants to know for those people who are twittering is, how do you get a lot of followers? What do you have to do?
You actually, there's two parts of that. Number one is more than how many people are following me, because they're really not following like broadcast. For your show, when they said you're going to be on the show, I said, well, Greg's got a show. How many viewers does he have? It matters in old media.
Sure.
In new media, though, it's a two-way. It's how many people can I have a conversation with. So out of that 60,000, I'm sorry to say that most of those people I've never talked to. And
Well, you'd be spending a lot of time on Twitter if you did talk to all 60,000.
Well, and I think that's the point. I want to have an individual conversation with anybody that wants to. So I'm at Warren Whitlock, WarrWhitlock, and just go ahead and send me a tweet. I will answer everybody that wants to have a conversation. Other people will watch, and they may learn something from it. You ask me a question, I'll answer it, and maybe some other people will hear it. But the main thing is, let's have individual conversations. That being said, the best way to get followers is to have more of those kind of conversations. Being seen as a giver. If you go on and say, come watch my show every day, people would get bored. If you go on and say, I've got this interesting guest, or here's where you can find out some more information about them, and you put the spotlight on somebody else, or you spotlight one of your viewers, then you're seen as the kind of person that is open and listening, and we all want to follow somebody like that.
So give them people information is one way.
Not just information, but context, and conversation.
And I think you say ask questions?
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely ask questions. Well, and it's interesting. There's people asking questions on anything under the sun. I can ask a question, where can I get good sushi in Cincinnati? And somebody will answer. I've tried it. I've never been to Cincinnati. I don't like sushi, but I know where I can get you
but
an
now
answer.
you know.
Yeah, we needed to. We had the time. We would check it out here, and I'd come back, and there'd be 5 people talking about sushi in Cincinnati. It's real time. It's now. And that's what's made the revolution, is that we're actually listening to what our customers have to say.
You talk about also, I guess, paying attention to some of the trending topics, since they, you can see what's popular at the moment. Do you try to work in?
Oh, that's one thing. As Twitter gets bigger, it's getting tougher and tougher to do. If you just look at the trending topics on Twitter, it's all going to be, who just signed the big basketball contract or won the game, the soccer game, whatever happens like that. But there's a lot of tools there, and if you're in business, there's plenty of tools that'll watch to what your followers are saying, what people in a certain area are saying. Every tweet is now geotagged. In other words, it puts the origin of where the person was when they sent the tweet, and you can find out in a very, very finite little part of the market what they want, and you respond to them.
So who is the top person on Twitter right now? How many followers do they have?
It's millions, and it's a movie star. And so the joke now is, if you want to have a whole lot of followers on Twitter, just be famous before you go on Twitter.
So is that everybody's following?
Yeah, I used to be like in the top 50, and I'm way down now, and the people above me are celebrities, real life TV celebrities.
Well, you got the book, now make a movie, and we'll follow you then.
Yeah, good.
Well, thank you very much, Warren Whitlock. The book is Twitter Revolution. I'd also like to thank Davida Martinez from Gogi. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.